Hey there, Big Orange fans. Welcome to Tennessee Fan Talk with myself, Brandon Byrd, and as always, the Duke. Here to bring you everything you need from this past week's game, along with a little comedy from some of those. We won't mention any names. We want to thank the ongoing support from all of you fans. We've really seen a drastic increase in the views here on the live stream. We want to thank you for that. If you want to help a little further, make sure to look down there below the box. If you're watching on YouTube, click that subscribe button. Hit the bell if you want to be notified, as well as on other platforms. Make sure that you subscribe. Speaking of other platforms, if you're not into the video, or you know someone who is not into videos, share that this goes out as a podcast right after we get done with the live stream. Do a little bit of editing, send it out on every platform so you can listen on your platform. We are there. Just look up Tennessee Fan Talk. If you want to help out a little bit more, check the link in the description below to our show support. Every little donation goes a long way in the cost of putting together this show. So we thank you for everything that you do. We thank you for what you're going to do. And now let's bring everybody in and get on with the show. Let's go, Vols. And tonight, let's talk about, we've got Adam, or as we call him, Joey Flopwater 2009, joining back in for the third week. And our special guest, as you may have saw, Mr. Casey Patrick. Casey's a big ball fan, high school coach, sports reporter, you name it, he does it. Check out his podcast, the Offensive Line Podcast, wherever you get yours at. Guys, everyone enjoy yesterday?
Could have been worse.
Could have been worse. Could have been worse.
I enjoyed watching.
Flopwater is down there getting ready for Halloween. We see who he's impersonating. He's just week by week getting closer and closer. Next week, maybe a little bit of makeup to finish it up.
We're getting close. We're getting close, boys.
The glued golf ball, something.
You need to put a burning couch in the back of your truck. Drive around Murfreesboro.
I've got a few ideas we're gonna work on.
That'll be nice. So, is next Sunday Halloween?
It is.
We may have to change the time on the show next week. Go a little earlier.
Or every time somebody says we got to pick a word, we just have to shotgun a beer. Or we got to chug a beer, bong a beer, something like that. We could do that. Natural light, yeah, it'd be all right. Going to work Monday hungover.
Oh, Lord. Natty light. You could choose something else. You don't have to drink that.
If it ain't natural, don't force it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
That's my favorite. I'm 33 years old. Natural light is my favorite.
Oh, dude.
I think that's what I was drinking when I woke up from that bender and had that Florida Atlantic job.
I love it.
That's great. Tonight's rundown, we'll go over a few things, starting off with Pruitt and his attempt to blackmail the university for his misfortunes, as he is now just an analyst in the NFL. After that, we'll go through the Vols game, break down, score, stats, all that jazz, what the Vols need to do moving forward. And, of course, they have an off week next week, as well as a big portion of the SEC. We'll go over our last week's picks and how the Duke did finally on some of his calls that most people don't go for. He finally hit them, and multiple. And then, of course, next week's picks will go really quickly, considering there's only 4 games in the SEC, right? Because we don't give a crap about anybody else.
Nothing else really matters.
Doesn't matter. All right, guys. So everyone, of course, has heard that Jeremy Pruitt is trying to go after his $12 million. He knows that if he, he thought that if he tried, that, the school would at least give him something. He thought he'd walk away with a couple more $1 million in his pocket when, he was terminated with cause. And I'm not saying that that no one knew about it, right? Or that it was just him and just his inner staff. I'm sure someone else knew about it. But for his future career, is it a smart move? And should Tennessee pay up? And with his remarks, Fulmer has come out and, said, no, you're not going to get it. This was on you. This was all you. And then Rick Barnes has stepped up and it's like, guys, quit throwing us under the bus for something that you did. Casey, what do you think about that?
I honestly, I'll go to war with Rick Barnes. I don't really care what anybody else says. If Rick says something, I'll take it as the truth. I think that Jeremy's he's kind of talking out of the side of his neck right now because he knows how poorly he was as a coach at Tennessee, and he probably wants to get back to where he can be another like a head coach somewhere. But he did so poorly, it's going to be hard for him to get a job. So he sees an opportunity to try and make some money. I have no idea how this is going to work out. There's a lot of legality stuff that's over my head. I'm not even going to try and act like I know about it. But if Jeremy Pruitt wants to start a war with Rick Barnes, I will fight that dude. Legitimately, I'm not going to deal with this shit. Not with the Deacon. No, sir.
All right. Jeremy Pruitt wants to go to war. All right. Duke?
The way I look at it is, for one, I mean, maybe a little devil's advocate. It's $12 million, so I do whatever it takes to try to get it too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah. I'm not taking sides with him whatsoever. But I'm just saying, hey, $12 million. I do a lot of things with $12 million.
When you leave out,
Bad
and you're
things.
in a worse position than like Butch Jones, right? He had to leave and go get Saban's coffee for a year.
I mean, the proof's in the pudding, though, right? I mean, obviously, he didn't deserve to be the coach. Also, another famous coach that coached at the coached the Mud Dogs said, "If what Mama don't know won't hurt her." You know what I'm saying? So somebody, I mean, a lot of people probably knew but didn't know.
You really like Waterboy.
Hey, it's one of the best movies ever. Ever catch that girl that broke out the tube and blacked your eye? But no, I mean, I don't know the legality stuff to it either. I mean, obviously, I feel like the University of Tennessee probably has more resources to get better lawyers. I don't think if they knew that they did something wrong, 100% they would settle outside of court. They're ready to go, tooth and nail with this guy. So I'm not too worried about it. And
as someone who is, your mentor, Mr. Flopwater, has, bounced around from place to place, does Tennessee cave into him, or?
I can tell you a few things about cheating at the university level. It's not a good look. It's not a good look, in all seriousness. I think it's going to end up one of those things where, it's going to be a game of chicken, and we'll see, like you alluded to, who's got the bigger law team retained, I guess. But yeah, it's a poor attempt to stay relevant and kind of built the university out of, we're known to pay people after that they don't work here anymore. So why not try it?
Well, I think there's one other thing too. I wonder what that buyout price would be. Like if it's $2 million to get him to shut up and go away, that fine, go ahead, throw it at him. I mean, I don't really think that bothers Tennessee. But if he really thinks he's going to get the whole $12 million at this point, it's about principle for me. And $12 million is a lot of money. If he's full of crap, let's run it. Let's see what you got on me. Like let's go to court. As far as I'm concerned,
we can't get no further down anyway. So come on.
No, I mean really. Yeah, I know what I think about Tennessee, and I don't really care what nobody else thinks about Tennessee. Yeah. You got all these other national writers that say whatever they want to say. I mean, really, what else can they write? I'll just laugh at it or not read it.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Did you see during the Ole Miss game? I love the little reel that ESPN put up where they showed Fulmer, driving the nice boat, and they're like, they pulled around some bums afterwards. Did you see that? And he pulling out Kiffin, and then Dooley, and then Butch, and then Pruitt, and then they show Heupel in the speedboat. It's the one of the things that I do like that the writers have said is, it's finally a positive culture again, and that's worth paying him and keeping him just for that.
I didn't see that segment. I was busy dodging approach shots from the upper deck. But yeah, you can tell the narrative around the country is that Tennessee is vastly improved. It was great to hear that spoken into existence there on the telecast the other night. People are starting to pick up on what we have seen for a couple of weeks as true Vol fans that follow it daily. So yeah, I was impressed with the effort last night. Definitely got a few things to say about where we're at, why we're at where we're at, why, pretty much how we talked last week that it was going to be a closer game that it ended up being. And boy, we couldn't have been more right. On down a touchdown with the ball in the fourth quarter with Alabama is a great place to be.
Yeah. Yes, it is. And with that, we'll move right into the breakdown here. In case y'all didn't know, Tennessee did win, I think it was 52-0 in rugby on Saturday as well.
I didn't even know they had that. Was it
the hell out of them?
That has to be intramural rugby, right?
So, hey, if we could beat them at something that's a little bit more physical without as much protection with being rugby.
You think we could beat them in a spelling bee?
Absolutely. Anything over 4 letters, that's us. Shoot.
That is great. Oh, so, of course, Hendon Hooker goes 19 for 28, 282 yards, 3 touchdowns by Hooker, but that interception hurt, right? Young was 31 for 43, 371 yards, and 2 touchdowns. What really, this stems back several weeks where we've talked about if you have the high-power offense, you have to score, right? Your defense is going to get tired. Your offense is not working it out. The possession, Alabama had the ball for over 40 minutes. Tennessee had the ball under 20. Tennessee with only 10 first downs the entire game, with Alabama having 33. Another one of those situations where we just can't stop people on third down. Casey, I'll let you start it out.
I mean, honestly, I think there's a really large picture here that maybe a lot of people are missing. Tennessee's kind of like an island of misfit toys. Most of the kids that we got that are playing are they weren't wanted where they were at. I mean, Tyon Evans was at junior college, and Hendon Hooker, they took him out of the starting role at Virginia Tech, and other than Darnell Wright and a few of those kids that actually stayed after getting recruited by some past regimes, a lot of the kids at Tennessee and I think it's 71 scholarship athletes. You're talking about really low depth, and I kind of went into it. It didn't happen how the Alabama game didn't really happen how I expected it to, because I actually felt like we played a lot better than I felt like we were going to, which is a testament to these coaches and Rodney Garner up front. The defensive line's been absolutely nuts. They're like first in the SEC in tackles for loss. I think third or fourth in the FBS in tackles for loss. That's nuts.
Yep, and for in the backfield, every single play they are applying pressure with just 3.
They in the kitchen.
They are.
Yeah, and I saw somebody tweeted this out. I don't know who said it. I don't want to take credit for it, but somebody said, "Hey, once we get the horses, we'll be in a race with anybody." And I believe that 100%. And I like the kids we got. I think the kids that we do have are playing spectacular football. The problem is after you get past them, there's just really not a lot, and they did get tired. They did get worn out. Same thing kind of happened against Florida. But I feel like if I know football's a 60-minute game, but for 30 to 45 minutes, we can play with anybody in the country. Now this Georgia game coming up, I'll be there in Knoxville, but I really want to see how that works out, because that is the best defense I've seen in a long time. So I kind of want to see how our Tennessee offense will play against it. But I think so far against anybody we've played that for the first 3 quarters, I mean, we can play with any of them.
Has Georgia faced a team with a up-tempo offense yet? I don't think they have.
Not one like ours.
So
I mean, they might have played an up-tempo offense, but you talking about like salt and pepper offense. We got hot sauce.
Right. And it's good as long as they score and they cannot have 12 penalties for almost 100 yards. That offensive line was just penalty after penalty after penalty. So they got to clean that part of it up. It happened at the most inopportune times as well.
I know there was like 2 false starts where I couldn't even find who moved.
I saw that too.
Yeah.
Now, and I'm not. Listen, I understand that the officials. You can make the argument that it's going to be crap for us for the rest of my life. I'm over that. I'm not even going to allow myself to get worked up over it. I'm legitimately not. I don't care what the officials do forever. I like the way we're playing football, and I'm going to be happy about that. But there were several times on Saturday night where it was kind of like, it's kind of hard to beat one of the best teams in the country when they have 3 or 4 more people on the field that aren't wearing their jersey that are letting them get their way.
A question online is, has Joe Milton entered the transfer portal yet? And it would probably be wise for him to do so.
He probably needs to try out for the shot put or something for the Olympic team.
He does have, the power that he has.
Oh, I wish Tony Vitello had a Twitter because I tag him. I tell him, put him on a mound. Let's see what the kid can do. I bet he throws 95. I swear to God. Yeah. I swear to God, I bet he throws 95 at least.
110 on the crow hop from the outfield.
Yeah. Hey, if he can turn on a fastball, we'll put that kid out there. I don't care. Hey, let's figure out what he's got.
They always they can teach spots. They can't teach speed. They can teach spots.
Oh, the kid's got talent. He's stupid, Bill. I mean, it's just sometimes his brain's not really moving like it needs to, and he makes bad decisions. And when he does make the right decision, he overthrows people or whatever. But the physical talent is obviously there. I think we all agree on that. He just ain't been able to really put it together.
Stone hands.
Flopwater, let me hear. Third down efficiency for this game, 2 for 12. What can Tennessee do? And this will kind of segment into moving forward. Is what can Tennessee do? First off, they've got to have a healthy offensive line, right? They've got to get. They kept saying that Cade Mays was not in the game. Was Cooper back? Okay, so Cooper was back. Cade was not. As much as a lot of people did not like Cade coming back up, I think he has gotten a lot better from his trip up to Georgia to now. He has gained a lot and has done well and has spent on his own dime training in the offseason. And so getting offensive line back is going to be a major thing. What else do the Vols need to be working on other than health?
It's tough to watch us get 8 or 9 yards on a first down and then get stopped for a yard the next 2 plays, or these phantom false starts. Again, I echo the sentiments. I'm used to not getting those calls for years. There's a lot of money in these top matchups coming out of the SEC. Bama is Sankey's baby. Horrible miss on the targeting against Hendon Hooker. I mean, if that had been one of our guys, we'd be, ejected before we left our feet and suspended for 4 more games in next year's bowl game. So missing stuff like that gets a little frustrating. We can't beat everybody. But, one thing that is, it's kind of interesting. Bama did to us what we hope to be doing to people very soon. They ran 90 plays on us and they flat exhausted us. Their Jimmys and Joes are better than ours. And, eventually those 71, that discrepancy with 71 scholarship athletes is going to show up against the top program in the nation and any of the other top programs in the nation. But, some of the play calling when we're talking about 3rd and 1, I have bought into the hype. I like Heupel, but I wonder, some of these situations, is he getting his feet freshwater in the big game situation? Because
I was just fixing to ask you that and go, is it too simple? Is a more schematic thing like what Jim Chaney brings to the table something that would work a little bit better for this team, and showing them different looks and being able, like you just said, going 8.5, 9 yards and still getting put out and having to punt? Something's wrong. There needs to be a change made.
I'd have to think
Yeah.
some of it has to do with talent, too. We just maybe not have the talent to run anything more exotic than what we have. That's just a thought.
Garantano's gone, so we can do something else.
Thank God, too.
Where'd that bum go?
I couldn't even fix that kid.
Villanueva, Washington State, I think is where he's
Washington.
at.
It is, yeah.
He threw his first touchdown pass of the year to the other team for a pick six.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
I will say, as far as if it's 2nd and 1 and you run 2 inside zone run plays and you don't get first down, that kind of speaks volumes to what we've got as far as offensive line. Whether they're either not talented enough or they're not healthy, something's obviously needs to be fixed up there. But I spoke with a coach here in town where I cover sports. He's an offensive minded guy. He's not a Tennessee fan, so he's not biased at all. And I asked him what he thought about Tennessee's offense. And he said that it's amazingly simple. He's not outsmarting people. He's just going faster than the other person. And that's what it is. That's what it is for him. It's not about trying to outsmart the other person. He's not playing chess. He's playing checkers, but his pieces move so fast that he catches people out of the place. And if since Alabama had a lot of opportunities to actually get caught up on that 2nd or 3rd down play, they were able to get to the gaps and they were able to make those tackles. Whereas, if Tennessee just goes faster and you catch them out of their spot, then you can usually get that yardage. If Heupel doesn't catch the other team, if he doesn't catch them with speed, then what he's doing on offense is not any different than anybody else. I mean, he's not reinventing the wheel. He's just trying to make it roll faster. And I've said that plenty times. So he has to go fast in order to beat other teams. Now, and that's right now. Now, after you do get to Jimmy's and Joe's, like I was talking about, it's not gonna. At that point, I don't know if he has to go fast anymore. You get the kind of talent that Tennessee can pull in the SEC. You can run as slow or as fast as you want to. Now, if you run this high octane offense as fast as to go with top tier talent, you're going to talk about stupid numbers that are going to be put up.
I think that we definitely missed some opportunities on the run pass option. Probably not making the right read there at the point of attack. 2 different plays that I can think of off the top of my head where it was very clear that you should have kept it there. But gave me an opportunity to coach the wife a little bit about what we're actually looking at in the 60-foot inch screen here. But it very, very obvious that I had to explain to her, what? In those situations, you don't know what they're coached. He may be told, I don't care if there is 3,000 yards of green pastures in front of you. You don't hand it off. We got or don't keep it. I'm sorry. Hand it off. Doesn't matter what's going on, because I think we all know that we're not at 100% right now. Just because Joe or Henning got back in the game. Tyon Evans, he did not look very strong either.
No, he didn't.
The offensive line obviously is patchwork right now, so they gave heart, man. A lot of heart out there. I'm not one for moral victories, but it was fun to watch again, and I'm excited. I'm with my man. I'll be in Georgia as well, Knoxville for Georgia as well, and I hope it's the atmosphere we brought for Ole Miss. I'm excited.
It was exciting, especially to take the lead in the first quarter, first time in 6 years that Tennessee has done that against Alabama. So that's fantastic. Moving forward, of course, we have a bye week coming up, and then we travel to Kentucky and face the 6-1 Kentucky Wildcats. Never ever thought that I would say that. Second in the SEC East, just under Georgia. How do we handle Kentucky?
Wait till basketball season.
There we go.
That's coming up. I didn't put that on the rundown, but that's like 11 in 2 weeks. Is it 2 weeks?
It's close. It's coming up. But
I know that Kentucky and Duke play the 9th.
Yep, I think you're right on that one. But I'm gonna say one thing real quick about this Kentucky game. The same thing I said on one of my other podcasts. I personally, before the Alabama game, I was afraid that Hendon and Cade and Ty weren't really 100%, so I didn't want to hurt them more. I was cool with sitting those dudes playing all backup and freshmen and getting them some playing time and whatever. It didn't bother me at all, and getting ready for Kentucky because I'd love to ruin their party. I would absolutely love, because they're on top of the world. They thought they were going to beat Georgia. They got their "We Want Bama" signs, and if we can go up there and ruin that ranking they got, that would make my day, because I hate Kentucky so much. They've been even in basketball, nobody's beat Kentucky more than Tennessee. There are little brothers when it comes to football. Honestly, beating them would be fantastic, because they don't think they're supposed to lose right now.
And if you look at their games, of course, ULM, we'll just scratch that off. But Mizzou was 35-28. UTC, they only won by 5. South Carolina, they only won by 6. These are close games to not that great opponents. So I think Tennessee could take care of business, especially having a week off to get a little better. Duke shaking his head. Let's hear it. What do you have?
I mean, I don't think they're going to win, but I completely agree. A Tennessee's fan least favorite teams, in my humble opinion, go in this order: Alabama, Kentucky, Florida. That's how I hate Kentucky. I hope we also school a party or spoil their party. I was born in 1988. I think they've only beat us twice in my lifetime. I don't think they beat us this year. I think it's competitive, but I don't think we can handle their defense. Their offense is not the best either. But I mean, we're just beat. We're banged up. We're thin. Even if we are, come back healthier, I still don't think we beat Kentucky. They're by far the second best team in the SEC East this year. I mean, a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while, right? I mean, I don't expect this to hold this for years to come. They got lucky. Maybe we beat them. I hope we do, but I don't see it happening.
I think we beat them with the pressure that we can apply in the backfield. I think we get a defensive score or two. We repay to them what they did to us a year or two ago, and
bring back the beer barrel.
Take a couple to the house.
Bring back the beer barrel.
Big picture that Kentucky probably needs to pump the brakes a little bit. I'm old enough to remember when the Washington Huskies thought that we want Bama too, and they did not want Bama.
After that Kentucky game, of course, we have Georgia.
That might be a closer game than what people think too, because their offense stinks as well.
I don't think that's a close game.
I think it's 100% what Grayson Bennett does.
Yep.
Because honestly, their defense is gonna kind of look like what Alabama was able to do to ours. I hope Tennessee gets a couple of those big shot plays like they did against Bama, against Georgia. And 24 points against Georgia, which is a tall task considering their defense has allowed like 3 offensive touchdowns this year. But 24 points against Georgia, going up against that, I mean, that offense, Grayson Bennett, he's like 5'7". He can barely see over the offensive line. I'm serious. It would create a little bit of pressure for a kid that is a walk-on quarterback. I think if you can create pressure, and I mean, hopefully they don't have JT Daniels back, because that dude does scare me. If Georgia has JT Daniels and he plays well, that's the national championship right there, national champion. And I don't know if it's close, because Bama's not as good as they think they are.
A couple little comments coming in online, and it is he meant to say Stetson Bennett, not Grayson. We hear you.
Who is Grayson?
I don't.
Did I say Grayson? I meant Stetson. I don't even know who Grayson Bennett is.
It's his alter ego, because Byrd is also short, so he's about as tall as Byrd.
Yeah. That's what I was fixing to say. It's his taller ego.
Y'all need research better, yeah, and you need grammar better. My bad, I got a name wrong. I know a Grayson Bennett. I don't even know who that is. I'm gonna look it up.
Any quarterback right now that can run past the line of scrimmage against us should do well.
Yeah, which is anybody.
Said it a couple of weeks ago, and it's tough to watch.
It is. We'll move on into last week's pick results of first game here. The Arkansas against Arkansas Pine Bluff. Brad called a 35-3 game. He was bound and determined to win the only field goal battle, and he got it. We all three picked Arkansas last week, and of course, that was easy enough. The Ole Miss LSU game, Brad, you actually picked LSU to win that game, and I know why. I know why.
Yeah, you know why.
But
significant other Louisiana, blah blah
yeah,
blah.
Not a chance. Mississippi State, you picked Mississippi State 35-6. Yet another spot on. You are pulling away from me now when it comes to that. We all three picked Alabama, of course. They're heading towards the end. If it wasn't for some of that last minute play, it was a lot closer than what we had stated. And then, of course, South Carolina, Texas A&M. We all three picked Texas A&M. And you again went with a field goal. You said 42-3. South Carolina's a little bit better than that.
Are they though?
But hey, Adam said 38-0. So I'll just take that because y'all were just so off. Even though what do we say? We play the Price is Right rules, and
close to the actual price without going over.
Not was over a little bit. That was easy. I love the weeks where there's 4 or 5 games. You could just roll through them.
Real quick, I figured out who Grayson Bennett is. That's a kid on a roster, one of the teams I cover. That's why I got the name wrong, and I think that's fair.
If you're covering right,
let's
and
give
it's
him a mulligan
name that you're
on
constantly
that.
saying.
You know what my memo used to always say that nobody
I
likes
see what you
anybody
did
that
there.
corrects them. That's what my memo used to say. Nobody likes nobody that corrects people. Nobody likes people like that.
I knew that name from somewhere, and I could not figure it out. It was about to piss me off. That's why I had to look it up. I went back through my work files. I figured it out.
Next week, of course, Tennessee gets a break along with a lot of other teams. We only have 4 games being played for week 9. And we'll go through real quick and grab these guys. Let me write down, get some columns here. Okay, first game, Missouri traveling to Vanderbilt. This is another one of your toilet bowls there, Adam.
Mm-hmm.
And Brad, and not to steal your thunder and what your slogan is, but you never pick Vanderbilt, right?
No, you never pick Vanderbilt. Nope.
I'm gonna go 35-6.
You're still my thunder that way, but okay, go ahead. You go around the room.
It's you. Go ahead, Duke.
You said 35-6, right? No,
I did.
Missouri's going to win 42-3.
Flop water.
I don't even know what to say. I wanted 6-3. How about 31-0?
Ooh.
Hey, yeah, that's Mr. Zero down there, Mr. Flop Water.
And Casey.
I'll take Missouri to win. I like the 31 number too, but I give you that one. But I'll take 34-13. I bet Vanderbilt gets a touchdown because that defense sucks.
They do.
That was bad.
I'm hoping at least a high school game breaks out at that weekend. So this weekend during that game,
you can probably get tickets for a couple bucks.
You had to pay me to go.
Be like Kansas, just walk in at halftime.
Pull the Kansas move. Oh, gates are open.
Next game, number 1, Georgia. This is the CBS 2:30 Central game. Thank you for that. They're in Gainesville, Florida, hosting that one. That one's actually going to be. I mean, I can see why that one's the CBS game. It's going to be
fun. World
Parker's
cocktail party. I wish they still played it in Jacksonville though.
Someone needs to play in Jacksonville.
I mean, Urban Meyer probably could. He could make it happen. But they used to play it in Jacksonville. I liked it when they played it there better. It was more of a better atmosphere.
They're not trying to have so many co-eds there while Urban's still in town. Bad publicity.
Got him.
But who am I to say anything about co-eds, right?
That's okay.
To each their own.
We'll run it around the other way. Start off with Casey first. Who you got on the Georgia-Florida game?
I think Georgia beats crap out of them. I was sitting here thinking Florida, maybe the quarterback difference might come into play, but I don't think it really matters at that point. But I don't think Georgia scores a whole lot. I'll take 27-10, Georgia over Florida.
I could see something like that. Mr. Flopwater.
I guess I'll go 27-13. That's exactly what I had. So solid pick, Casey. I'm going to piggyback off that. 27-13. We'll get one of the Duke's field goals in there to make it.
He's going to say 9 just to get the 3 field goals.
I'm not. I am going to make another prediction though. If Dan Mullen loses, he's gone at the end of this year. They fire him. They fire him at the end.
There has already been rumblings.
I knew that. But if he doesn't beat Georgia, they lose. They're not going to beat Georgia.
No.
Sounds like my next dream job.
35-6 Dogs. And I'm not saying they don't get 2 field goals. They miss the extra point. That's what I'm saying on this one. That's how they get 6. They miss the extra point.
So it's the lack of any field goal. You got to make it nothing.
What was that final? I'm sorry.
35-6 Dogs.
I do think that Georgia, under Stetson Bennett, I just about said Grayson.
I'm sorry, that's on me. That's my bad.
It's funny.
That's gonna mess everybody up, though. I mean, I'm gonna be saying it for a month. I swear.
I mean, we're not big J journalists here. We just shoot the crap with each other.
I don't have a check mark yet. Yeah, I can get that wrong.
That's exactly how they would talk at the bar, and somebody'd say Grayson Bennett, and we'd all know who you meant, and we wouldn't have corrected you.
That's right. Just roll on with it.
Yeah.
Georgia does pull it out 35-14. Next one, number 10. Hey, here you are, Flopwater. Number 10, somehow, number 10 at 7 o'clock Eastern. Ole Miss traveling to Auburn. Number 18, Auburn on that one. Duke, this one's got to be rough for you. It's 2 people that you absolutely hate. Bum Nix
Yep.
and Joey Freshwater.
Both picks. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Who do you go with on this?
The referees.
You know they're gonna win.
Yeah,
they're gonna win.
$15,000 a game. Yeah, they win.
If Bo Nix can pick up the speed to make them start flopping around again, right? And they do it again on national television, please tell me something gets done at more than just the expense of us.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I'm probably not going to watch that game if I'm being totally honest. I mean, I'm going to watch the world's largest cocktail party just because that'll give me a reason to drink what? Natural Light. But
the truck race will be on about that time. It gives you a reason to watch.
I mean,
to drink Natty.
More Natty Light.
I am a NASCAR guy. I'm very open about being a NASCAR guy. NASCAR fantasy team name, Natural Light makes my dick trickle. Just saying. That's my fantasy NASCAR team name. I don't know what to say. Auburn wins. Auburn wins 42-35.
How do you even play fantasy NASCAR?
I was going to say the same thing.
Hey, I'm in the top 1,000 in the world in fantasy NASCAR.
And I'll take your word for it. I bet you right on that one.
Hey, look here. But the way you play fantasy NASCAR is you pick 5 drivers a week, and you can only use them 10 times a year. So you can't use the same ones. And that's how they do it on NASCAR.com.
Okay.
Flopwater 09. Not time to throw the headset yet. What you got for the Auburn game?
I'm going to throw the headset over here to my left and unfreeze frame our friend the Duke. See if we can get him some internet going.
I'm not froze.
38-27, the Rebellion.
You had to do it. You had to do it. Casey, who you got?
I almost guarantee Ole Miss win this game, and I'll tell you why. Because Bo Nix is one of the most inconsistent quarterbacks I've ever seen in my life. And the last game he played was pretty good. So I'm gonna take Ole Miss. I think they win 45-28. 45-27 is right. 45-27 is right.
I've been saying
That's
that for a
solid.
long
I
time.
like how you arrived at that. That's solid logic for sure.
No, he is. He is the most inconsistent
yeah.
quarterback I've ever seen.
But he's got some Brett Favre in him.
He's got a lot of shit in him, and I don't know what all of it is, but he's wild. It's really inconsistent, and I have no idea what's going to happen. Unpredictable.
As much as I hate to do it, I've got to go with Ole Miss as well, just because Matt Corral is going to win the Heisman this year. Looks amazing, and I'm going to go 35-28.
I just pick Auburn because I hate Kiffin more than I do Bo Nix. That's why I did that.
Oh, I hate Lane Kiffin. I'd love to drop kick him. That would be like my Christmas present. But I'm telling y'all right now, I have zero faith in Bo Nix. Zero.
Bo picks.
Bo picks.
I don't know why I get so much hate. I'm, the last guy to play this thing close since this new Heupel kid. So.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the final game at the same time, I feel sorry for their TV ratings, is number 12, Kentucky. I still can't believe I'm saying that. 12, Kentucky, traveling to Mississippi State, where they will have the air raid tested out on them. Who comes out of it? Casey, we'll start with you.
Oh God. You know what? I like old Mississippi State coach
Mike Leach.
I love that dude. He's one of the best Twitter followers in the world. Twitter follows. He is awesome.
He's probably got a pet possum.
Yes, he's insane. He reminds me of a drug dealer from college. But I'm telling you,
the same guy.
Yeah, same dude.
We got the same guy. We could have been hanging out a long time ago.
I think Kentucky gets this one. I don't have a Will Rogers or whatever his name is, the quarterback down there.
That's
I don't really have a lot of faith in them either. I like Leach, but that's kind of like Nick's where it's up and down. I don't trust him.
Rogers does a good job. He completes 55 passes a game.
Yeah, but if you throw 90, how good is that? I'll take.
He caught right onto it.
Yep. I'll take Kentucky low scoring game. 26-9.
Oh, wow.
I want the missed extra point as well. I'm going to take a field goal and a missed extra point. I love that idea.
Yeah,
I'll put it back there.
That's how I always pick my games.
Flopwater, what do you got on this one?
I am going to go 33-27 Bulldogs.
Oh.
Whoa.
Try to mix some things up a little bit. Let's shake it up.
Nothing better.
Oh, I'd crack
Let's
up.
Shake it up a little bit.
I've got another prediction. I got another prediction here. Kentucky's going to cause a safety this game. They're going to get a safety this game. This is the team to do it on. They're going to do it. Kentucky's going to win. It's going to be a very low scoring ball game. It's going to be 27-8. And that's 2 field goals and a safety. No, wait, no, hold on, wait, 27, 29-6. Excuse me, I put it on the wrong side. 29-6.
I'm gonna piss myself laughing. Mississippi State beat Kentucky. I'm just telling y'all right now.
I hope they do.
They do. My pick is Mississippi State, and it is 48-28.
Y'all are a bunch of homers. Come on, man.
They're gonna.
I hate Kentucky. That's like
Kentucky is going down.
I go to Bristol races and I hate Kyle Busch, but that son bitch always wins, and I know he's going to win.
I was at the dirt track races this year at Bristol, and that dude, he was supposed to be there and he showed up late or whatever. We left before he showed up because he got cold. But that was my dad. He wanted to leave, but. I hate Kyle Busch too. He's on my shit list. He's one of them.
Yeah, I hate Kyle. We're on the same page there too. I also hate Kyle Busch.
Oh. So the BasketVols start off. They are on 11-9, and they play UTM.
UT Martin, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Representing the West Side.
And they are ranked as of now number 18.
I like it. That's a sleeper rank. That's
fine with me. They don't have to be in the top 10. Then make them earn their way up there. Speaking of someone that doesn't have to earn their way up there, so Alabama beats Tennessee, and now they're at number 3. You lose to an unranked team, you win the following week, and then you beat Tennessee late, and you still move up a spot.
But who lost in front of them? Did anybody lose in front of them? That's what happened, right? Somebody lost in the top 3?
Iowa.
Bam.
They lost.
That's what it is. Yep.
I don't care. They still should have stayed.
Yeah, but I think these rankings are they take too much into account. The wins and the losses. Sometimes, I mean, you have a bad week or whatever. I think Alabama is probably one of the top 3 teams. I don't think Cincinnati is.
No, heck no.
They're two.
I love their schedule. I love looking at their schedule and going, why are they here?
I'd be all right if I played ITT Tech every other day.
I want them to make it so bad. It's like back in the day when everybody wanted Boise State there. When everybody wanted Boise State there, I want that again. But anything about Boise State is they beat Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cincinnati ain't beating Georgia, ain't beating Alabama. They ain't beating Florida. They definitely ain't beating Kentucky. But I mean, bottom line, I guarantee Kentucky plays Cincinnati right now. Kentucky beats them.
I think you're right. I really do. And I hate Kentucky but I think you're right. I think you're right.
You guys, this one, I'm going to have to split this off and put it in as just a YouTube extra by itself. Just come look at our picks. You don't have to watch the rest of the show. Just come look at the picks.
Where's this elevator music coming from? How did we get here?
Oh, see,
I'm on
this
the way
right
to
here
the
is
top-ranking job again.
This is normally done in post-production,
I'm
and now I don't have
USC next year.
I don't have to do this in post-production anymore. I can do it live. It's fantastic. Speaking of not doing it live, remember, if you know someone that's not watching this, if you prefer podcast, want to listen to it again, whatever, podcast will drop on everywhere that you get your podcast this evening. So on the way to work tomorrow morning, whatever, drive a truck, listen to the whole thing. Listen to it a couple times. Help the rankings. Come on.
Refresh your memory.
We do thank everyone for joining us today. Special guest Casey Patrick, thank you for joining in, and returning guest Joey Flopwater 2009. Getting closer and closer to Halloween, adding a little.
I was about to say, I can't wait for Joey Flopwater 1985.
Be sure to get us out on social media anywhere that you are. We are TN Fan Talk at all of those locations. For myself, Brandon Byrd, and the Duke, thank you so much for listening. We will see you next week, where we don't get to talk about the Vols winning or losing. We get to talk about how healthy they are and who's going to be ready to play. And
more basketball. Yay!
And some more basketball as we're getting closer.
We should have brought more ketchup with our mustard this week.
Where's the Grey Poupon?
Guys, we thank you very much. See you next week.
Thank y'all.
Balls.